I had a man tell me that I was being too masculine and that I needed to learn how to be more feminine. And initially, I was so uncomfortable. I was upset, actually. I was confused. There's so many things in life that can harden us, that can make us close, create so much tension in our body, in our mind, make us scared of people and things around us, take our ability to trust and to love and to play and to have a sense of lightness, to not feel like we need to fight. Like I grew up feeling like I always had to be in a fight. I was always fighting and I always had to protect myself. Learning how to soften when all you have known is hardness, pushing, learning how to put those things away when they need to be put away. For so many of us, we have learned to live in survival mode. We are chronically stuck in survival mode. If we listen to some of the things we say, how we respond to people, just our tendencies and how we behave, our quickness, our sharpness, our defensiveness, our harshness, our frustration, our anger, our inability to trust people, we can see that we are still in survival mode. And it's not that there's something wrong with that. Again, if we grew up or came out of environments, situations, challenges, events that we feel like we needed to protect ourselves from, it's very natural that we are in survival mode. But it's also very important to know that we're not there anymore and bringing ourselves back to safety. This is why I think it's extremely important to understand about our nervous system, understand how our nervous system is working. Like for me, this is one of the most healing things that we can do for ourselves, is to have an understanding of how our sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system is working and what that means for our life, not as science, not as biology, not as something cool to study, but really how that plays a role in our relationships, not only with other people, but with ourselves, and what that means for our well-being, our sense of well-being, our sense of being able to be soft in the world. Survival doesn't look soft. It is guarded, it's reactive, it's fast, it's always prepared. It has its gloves on and it's ready to go. So being in survival mode is not really an invitation for softness, for creativity, for relaxation, for ease, for playfulness to arise. And it's not because something is wrong. That's just the nature of being in survival mode or being in our sympathetic nervous system. That is how it protects us. The more that we can learn how to regulate our nervous system, how to bring our nervous system to a state of balance, to health, then naturally these things like rest, a soft life, this is the first step to soft living. Soft living is not just about aesthetics. Soft living is internally how you feel, how you move in the world, the sense of ease you have in your body, the quality of thoughts and peace, your ability to express compassion and love and kindness and playfulness and joy. And that is just simply not a function of our sympathetic nervous system or the survival part of our nervous system, flight, fight, or freeze. It's called flight, fight, or freeze for a reason. For me, living a soft life is not about all the aesthetics and all the beautiful things and beautiful places. I think they might be a byproduct of a healed nervous system, of a nervous system that is healthy and knows how to function properly, of a nervous system that feels safe and that is grounded. It doesn't mean that we're always calm and chill and kumbaya and namaste. That's not what it means, because our autonomic nervous system, it will always do exactly what it needs to do. When we talk about wanting peace, what we're really saying is that we want homeostasis. We want a healthy nervous system that can fluctuate between parasympathetic and sympathetic on its own, because it knows how to take care of itself. But for a lot of us, we are stuck in survival mode. And when we are stuck in survival mode, it is very difficult to rest. It is very difficult to have ease. It's very difficult to be gentle, to be kind, and not because we're not kind people or because we're not gentle people or because we're not feminine enough or because we're not masculine enough. It's because our body is doing what it feels like it needs to do to protect us. The way out of being stuck in survival mode is becoming aware of how our nervous system works, how it functions, what tools and resources can we use to get out of that mode of being. And I realized that when the guy that I was dating said to me that I need to be softer, he probably was really talking about the fact that I have been stuck in survival mode, that I was behaving, acting, speaking, moving from a space of feeling like I needed to protect myself. And I spent so much time trying to figure out how to be more soft, how to invite more softness or femininity into my life. But softness isn't a personality upgrade. It is what naturally starts to happen with a regulated nervous system. You fall into place. And safety is something that we can build. Safety is something that we can continue to grow towards. If you grew up having to protect yourself, if you grew up having to defend yourself, having to support yourself, it's not that you are too masculine, too hard, too tough. It's that you have learned to be in survival mode. And perhaps your nervous system is stuck in survival mode. Healing our nervous system is how we become more feminine, how we fall into our natural place without overexerting ourselves, without shame, without feeling guilty, without trying to force ourselves to be something or someone. You don't have to subscribe to the idea that something is wrong with you, that you are not soft enough, that you are not calm enough, that you're not peaceful enough. You don't have to subscribe to any of those ideas, but you can take that information as feedback. And that might be feedback that you are stuck in survival mode. And that's very useful feedback. It's extremely useful feedback when someone can show us or reveal to us that, wait, I'm stuck in survival mode. Like, I still feel this need to protect myself. I still don't feel safe in the world. For example, slowing down, just slowing down. Noticing when you're rushing, noticing when you're moving fast, when you don't have to be. This for me is such a big one because I move so quickly and so fast, like someone's chasing me sometimes. And I have to remind myself, no one's chasing you. Like, you can slow down. And I read something very beautiful in the book When Things Fall Apart. And let me see if I can recall what she said. I've been reflecting on it for the last few days. Not causing harm is a part of being awake. And part of being awake is slowing down enough to see what we say and what we do. So, in order to actually be awake, to be alive, to be here, to be present, have to learn to slow down. So, for me, slowing down has been an extremely big part of safety, feeling safe, allowing myself to feel safe. And also the second thing that's and also the second thing that's and also the second thing that has been extremely helpful to me has been becoming aware of the sensations in my body that I'm experiencing in real time. And I actually learned it incredibly, like, I'm actually shocked by what I learned yesterday, that it is almost impossible to be aware of the sensations in our body or on our body and not be present. So, just by means of being aware of our sensations, that means we have to be in the present moment. because sensations can only be happening where we are. And so I think this is so important for those of us who might be stuck in survival mode. I can just feel my feet on the ground where I am and what that sensation feels like. Right now, it's a bit of coolness. It was just raining here. A bit of coolness. I can feel the hardness of this chair, and I can feel the tightness of my shirt on my eyes, like snug on my stomach. When I can feel those things, then I can know that, oh, this is where I am right now. And where I am right now is a safe place. And practicing sensations, it takes time. It takes time to be familiar with actually feeling how we feel, because for me, again, especially when you've been stuck in survival mode for so long, it might be very difficult to even feel your body. It might be actually uncomfortable to feel your body. It might be strange, or you might just feel very weird to feel your body and what's actually happening in your body, and to become aware of that. And also being able to communicate at the sensation level takes a lot of vulnerability. It takes vulnerability to share with another person how we are actually feeling. I know for me, growing up in the US, typically when people ask you how you are, it's such a fast interaction and it requires a lot of speed. But when we are learning to speak from a place of sensations, we really do have to slow down, because we need to check in with ourselves. We need to feel our body. We need to be able to actually understand what is happening. And because of this speed, it doesn't really allow space for us to really connect with our body or present moment sensations that are happening. For a lot of us, just receiving feedback from another person might feel like judgment, or might feel like we need to protect ourselves. Getting a text message that we read as if the other person is upset with us, that also might be something that puts us in uh that also might be something that makes us feel like we need to go into survival mode, feeling like we didn't perform good enough. There's so many reasons and things why we can go into survival mode, and being more and more aware of that every single day. And this is how we soften. This is how we become more at ease. So you don't have to force yourself to be more feminine, like I was running around doing, trying to force myself to be more feminine, when in reality, what I needed to be doing was actually healing my nervous system, actually working towards getting out of survival mode. And I really wish that I knew that. I wish that I had this insight before, because for me, it's like, oh, it's like, duh. It's almost like if you have a house that is literally falling apart, like the wood needs repairing, things are falling from the roof, like the structure, the foundation of the house is just not well anymore. And then you go and paint the house. Like as if the foundation and the structure don't need renovation. So trying to be more of this or more of that is not the answer, but getting to the root of the problem, taking care of our nervous system. This is how you soften in life. This is how you live a soft life, not by force, not through aesthetics, not by new clothes, not by doing your hair in a different way, or talking in forcing yourself to speak in a different way. The body itself is a support system for that. The nervous system itself is a support system. So we don't have to force ourselves. But if we are stuck, and we also don't want to be stuck in our parasympathetic nervous system. We don't want to have to get things done, and we can't because we have an idea of I should be more feminine right now. Soft life is about a healed nervous system. Soft life is about not being stuck in survival mode. Soft life is about being able to relax and feel safe where we are. Soft life is about getting out of survival mode when we don't need to be there. A healed nervous system is not going to take you towards things that will hurt you.